Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Time to share.
Wait a minute. I should move my
Time to share. Fun time. Trying to.
I've done intros last week. Who's on it this week?
Brenna.
No.
No, Shartan. No, Shartan. Look at him in his gear. Come on.
Okay.
Let's put our best foot forward. I'll say best foot.
I'm really having a hard time breathing, but okay.
Now in his picture.
So if anyone is wondering why I'm not wearing my bin hat, it's because I don't want to wear the hat at work.
You put your height in inches on your head.
No, I don't associate the bin podcast with badges.
Oh, I see what you're doing there. That's actually very noble of you, Cortez.
Yes,
appreciate it.
I care about you guys a lot.
Oh, come on, let me give you a big cuddle.
No, you're a prime member of the poultry hugging club, so I don't know about that.
That's how it spreads. That's how it spreads.
There it is.
Wow, I've got some avian flu going on.
Did you get your membership coin yet?
Oh, I've got everything.
All right, ready.
Get your glasses in.
Swish wash swoom. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bin Podcast. I am, as always, Shartan Rowan, sitting here comfortably in Sweden, where it's, well, dark all the time, for some reason. I haven't seen the sun in like 2 weeks. Also, I've been sick, not corona. Got my test back today. So, you're safe.
Just everything else.
Am I doing intros? You want to do this? Yes?
Sorry, go ahead.
Where the fuck was I? All right, I had this like thing I was going to say, but fuck it. All right, I'm here with Wayne, Brenna, Mikey, and Cortez, who's at work or is sitting in a barber's chair. I don't really know.
Yes.
And of course, we got Aicila, Lewis.
Oh, you.
Did I get that right?
No.
Close enough. No.
No, help me out.
Aicila.
Aicila, Lewis, from Bicurean Podcast. Welcome to the Ben. How you doing tonight?
I am really excited to be here. I'm looking forward to the unknown.
It really is the unknown.
Yeah, that's how we feel every Thursday around this time. So it's basically we're all in it together now.
I appreciate that. And I'm sorry you've been sick. That is a bummer.
Well, I've had 2 cups of soup.
What kind of soup was it?
Vodka?
Yes, it was vodka soup because apparently that's the thing.
vodka soup.
No,
Just like my old nan. Just like my old nan used to make.
In honor of the Royal Poultry Club of Great Britain, I had some chicken soup.
Eating the members of the group.
Yes.
It gets smaller every flu season.
What we do often, I don't know if you watched any of our previous episodes, what we do is we start off by telling what we've been doing over the last week and telling everybody what we're drinking tonight.
Oh,
today
shit.
for you.
Forgot my drink.
Mikey!
I'll be back.
We've been doing this for we've been doing this for, and this is the Bin Podcast. It's like, oh. Yeah, saucy pit bag. But let's start with Wayne Lane sitting comfortably over there in Basildon, Essex.
Thanks for doxing me, my friend. I'm on the Lindeman's Cabernet Sauvignon. And again, if you look, it's Bin 45.
Ah.
Again, topical.
That's
on brand. On brand.
That's actually quite a good wine, that.
It is decent.
Yeah. Brenna, what are you sipping on there?
I have a cup of tea. Loose leaf, Wayne, loose leaf, and it's raspberry ganache. It's by the T. It's by T40. It's really good. They come in the little packages, the individual ones in the little cup that has the little strainer on top.
See, Brenna brings class and sophistication to
Pick me
us
up, bitches.
heathens.
Good. Somebody's got to, right?
I have to. It's 12 o'clock here, so it's not like I can day drink. Some of us have to work for a living.
Are you in California?
Yeah. Where I'm not even just in California, but I'm in Southern California, where we currently have a new fire that started in the canyon. So air quality is very, very bad here. And I went outside and my eyes started to burn. So
Didn't Trump tell y'all to rake that shit up?
Yeah.
You know,
why don't you clean that shit up? Like
you know what? You know what? He's a lame duck president. I don't listen to him anymore.
The limp.
Well, I never listened to him before, but even now, I'm done.
Now you get to say that. He's a lame duck instead of just a lame ass.
Just a limp dick. I mean,
But I'm telling you, you know that.
That though? Where'd you gather that information? Oh no.
I'll
You
never
know
reveal
that,
my sources.
You know that meme of the Joker from The Dark Knight walking away from the hospital?
Uh-huh.
That's what you guys are going to deal with.
Yeah.
He's going to be like,
Pretty. What? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, and then he does like.
Where's the cheeseburgers?
exactly that.
Do you think he's going to be able to get his daily 5 Big Macs from prison?
One can only hope.
So, okay, right, Mikey, what you sipping on over there, dude?
Well, I have my Jack Skellington mug, which is very reflective and awesome.
Yes.
And you know I have my normal poison of Bacardi and Monster because I'm an absolute beast.
Yeah.
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 Good for your health.
Go you. Grr.
Until you have a heart attack.
You guys are all clearly intimidated, I understand.
Yeah. Wow.
And I'm having Carlsberg, probably the best beer in the world, according to themselves.
You better get some noodles and broth in that bitch.
And some Helena's Ouzo.
What?
Yes.
Have we ever had Ouzo on this?
No, it's the first time, and a very good friend of mine
what is
came
that?
over with this. It's
What kind of liquor is? I've never heard of that. What is that?
It's Greek. It's what the fuck is the name in English?
Liver rot.
It's like a licorice flavor.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, ooh.
It's not licorice. It's
Aniseed.
Anise.
Yeah.
Yes, anise. Yeah.
Aniseed.
Anise. Yeah.
It's pronounced
and
anus, you children. Jesus.
And then, so a very good friend of mine.
Mikey. Don't
a
make me
very
say
good
it.
friend. What? Can I talk?
Go on, mate.
All right.
my
A very
bad.
good friend of mine told his dad that I was sick, so he brought me. His dad said, "This'll help him," and so I got Belarusa.
This is what I love, right? So your friends say, "Oh, he's a bit sicky poo poos. Let's get him pissed." Let's take as much alcohol.
It's a
that is
great
good.
way of getting calories to sustain your energy levels. So
I thought you was in Asgard, man.
It kills everything. Like,
It does.
right? It's like drinking bleach, but you won't die.
I know you're supposed to inject bleach.
Oh, is
Apparently.
it injecting? I thought.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, like if you drink only alcohol, nothing else can live in your system.
Exactly.
It will make your eyes water, though.
I think that's why I've been so healthy. Like when I was back when I smoked cigarettes, like I barely ever got sick because I had a theory that the pathogens just couldn't live in my toxic ass body. They'd land and they're like, all right, what's this then? And then they just get fucking annihilated with caffeine and nicotine and liquor at every turn. So they ran away. They steered clear of me. Like, no, you don't
it's
want
kind of
that.
like the plot of Osmosis Jones.
What's that? Osmosis Jones.
Jones. It's a.
That was the Chris Rock animated movie.
Chris Rock movie.
Yeah. And Bill
Wasn't it-
Murray's in it too.
He was like they were like the little germies inside of nasty Bill Murray.
Yeah,
He
so
was
there's
doing
like
gross
germs and
shit.
bacteria, and there's mites and stuff like that. It's
So
He had syphilis.
Jartan, you're drinking to cure the virus that's inside you.
mm-hmm.
That's a great segue because over here in the UK,
Oh god.
we are the first people to. Let's have a little look at the sharing of the screen.
Oh, is he gonna do
Oh
it?
no!
He's
We
gonna do
got
it.
it.
He's
We
gonna
got
do
it
it.
down to a science.
Look
there
at
you go.
look.
It's
He's
cool.
he's really excited, but he still hasn't hit the button right because I don't see anything to share.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't
shit.
even do no segue.
Whoa.
It's
Are you
cool.
using
Right
your new mic, by the way?
Yeah, I am, mate.
Oh, you definitely got COVID.
Hang on.
Oh,
There we go.
Wayne, the momentum is.
Oh, mate, no, done it wrong.
no.
Okay, all right,
That's me,
all right.
brother.
Can we
That's me.
let's have Wayne figure this out because he stepped right on our guest. Because yes,
Go on, carry on.
what are you drinking?
Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't know. I was going to drink water because
Ooh.
now I know, but I will share this with you, Mikey.
Yes, ma'am.
After the stream that we did last week, I have had no alcohol.
We properly tucked it in that night.
I was like, and I did not drink a significant amount, but clearly it affected me to the point where I had my first ever hangover, and I'm over 40.
First ever.
Ever. I've never-
Wow.
And I'm not telling you, like, I have been way more trash than I was on that show. And my partner is always like, you're not sick? And I'm like, nah, I never get sick. I can drink whatever I want. I come from a long and glorious tradition of alcoholics, and I can. And last
Glorious
Thursday,
tradition.
I was so sick, and I was like, I'm gonna die. And he's like, you're a wuss. I'm like, if people feel this way after they drink, I don't know why they ever drink.
Mhm.
So
We had fun, and that was the more
Mhm.
important thing. It's all
What you've got to realise it's a process.
What's
So
that mean?
you get drunk, you get a
Uh-huh.
hangover, and you continue.
continue hanging over or drinking.
No. It's your turn. As a professional drunk,
Okay, cool.
tell us how this works.
Look at him, just like,
I'm the go-to person.
oh yeah.
This.
I'm the go-to person for drinking.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
we have experts in all categories. Jartan, tell us about overindulging in alcohol.
I mean, people need this information.
Yes.
And
So-
by people, I mean me.
So the best way to cure a hangover is to actually do some work before you go to bed. So have fatty, salty foods, maybe something to replenish your liquid levels, right? So you don't get dehydrated. But of course, sometimes you're pissed and you just burn the chicken wings or whatever.
oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Shit happens.
If you guys,
There's a backstory. There's a
hold on.
backstory.
If you guys missed that episode, this was early in the bin life. Oh, this is episode 45, by the way. We're almost at 50, y'all. We're almost at 50. Jartan fucking is drunk off his shit, and we're making all these chicken jokes, right? We're all making these chicken jokes. This fucker jumps and says, "My chicken!" and bolts. Just bolts.
It was epic.
He was
It was
cooking chicken.
perfectly timed.
Yes, and he had chicken in the oven, and he had forgotten about it because he's so fucking pissy drunk, and he burnt it to fucking nothing.
No, it was like I couldn't even use it for charcoal in my grill. Like it was nothing left. It was
all bad.
horrible.
We were even called
Yeah.
the bin.
Oh
And it-
my
and it
God.
And yeah, and I've been looking for that clip. So if somebody knows what episode that clip is in, because I need that for my soundboard, just when I you're like, oh fuck my chickens.
My chicken.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Fatty foods, hydrate. So passing out on the couch was probably not my best choice. Got it.
that's not, but if you wake up and you got a bad headache and you're just feeling bad and you can't drink that day, because the best thing you can do is just take a shot of something and go back to bed. Then you'll sort of ease out of it instead of, jumping out.
My partner tried to convince me to drink, and I said no.
Yeah, if you don't have to drive the next day, just chug down like a couple of shots of something and go back to bed, and then you'll sort of ease out of it instead of jumping out of it.
Jartan, what is your profession, by the way?
I don't have one at the moment.
But what was your previous profession?
Alcoholic? No, truck driver. Sorry.
Addiction counselor.
Yeah.
AA counselor.
Children's addiction counselor.
There you go. Children's addiction counselor.
At least it wasn't a youth pastor.
It'd be driving down his
That
ice
would be
road,
way
counselling
better.
people on the phone, whiskey in hand.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, sir, you can't drink while operating this big rig. No, you don't understand. I'm coming down from the hangover. It's
Yeah.
okay. I don't want to
Got a
jump
client
out
on
of
the
it.
phone.
I don't want to jump out of it. I have to ease
Yeah,
out of it.
you have
That's
to-
why I'm doing shots as I drive. Think about it. Think about
He
it.
gets a pass from me because he's
but
wearing
if you-
pants today.
Yeah, but if you have to drive that day and you need to sober up and you need to do it real fast, like don't do the coffee thing because coffee just dehydrates you even more.
Okay.
Gatorade.
So yeah, like Gatorade, power drinks, and go for a power walk. Like walk as fast as you can for as long as you can and sweat that shit out. Have a shower, get in your car, and you're done.
All
we
right.
have a message from the chat. Google Eats writes in.
Your favorite.
Mr. Shartan, your order of ThermPro oven timer has shipped.
Wow.
No, the messages won't be displayed. Mikey's, because we did have some troubles having everybody reading messages from the comment section. So Mikey's our social media manager. He's taking care of that.
Can I just say, you should not take any medical advice from the Bin podcast. It's pure banter. Please don't listen to anyone, especially Jartan, because he's a bit of a cunt.
Don't drink and drive. Don't.
Yeah. Don't do
I've never-
drugs, kids. Stay in school.
Have I told?
Hey, I
anybody,
never said that.
Have I told anybody to drink and drive? No, I haven't.
No, you said the opposite.
Yes.
Said
No,
don't
but
drink.
your advice would contravene drink drive rules.
Sure. Don't
How
drink and
would-
drive, you fucking morons. And also,
Yeah,
don't
there you
listen
go.
to us. What? No one has. I have yet to find one person.
Podcast right now.
Turn it off. Why are you still watching this? You know we're wrong. Like, it's all bollocks.
What these absolute barbarians seem to forget every now and then is that I am actually a medical professional and used to work in a psychiatric hospital for quite some time.
You know, I do forget that sometimes.
Well, I will
Yes.
tell you, one of my friends who's a nurse used to bring saline bags to her friends who got drunk the next day.
That is the best. That is the instant cure.
That's a friend. That's a friend.
You
Yeah,
got
it
a
was
friend.
Like, wow, you were like super dedicated to your situation. But I also I had not experienced a hangover, so I didn't know that, I probably would have accepted that last Thursday.
That was one of my best, or one of my favorite scenes in House, was when number 13 was like out partying all the time, and she's just like in like a utility closet with like 3 saline bags in her arm, and I'm like, that would fix it. That's what I need. I gotta find some saline bags somewhere. Gotta have it on the market somewhere. I gotta get some of that shit.
An oxygen tank will do you just the same. So if you're close to a hospital, which I was on occasion, and you have a on-call room that is available, which it was on occasion, you just bring an oxygen tank and a face mask in there when you fall asleep, and you'll feel right as rain when you wake up.
Yeah, you're high as shit. You're high on oxygen.
Yep.
I live in Colorado, so like I really appreciate oxygen in a way that I did not before I moved here.
So where are you from originally?
I have kind of lived all over. I was born in Vegas, raised in New England, went to college in Utah, lived in Seattle for a while, and then moved here to Colorado. Lived in Germany in high school for a year. So
That's cool.
yeah, actually it was really cool. I applied for a scholarship to live there because I was not wealthy. And then right before I went, the wall fell. And so I was there during unification, which I could tell you was an amazing
You
time.
was there when David Hasselhoff was there.
not just
Wow.
David Hasselhoff, but yeah, I was there for unification. I lived in Hamburg, so we went down and saw I lived with a host family, so did the exchange thing. And
Do you speak German?
I do, not as fluently these days, but I actually went back last year. It was the 30-year anniversary of the wall falling, and it was 30 years since I'd been there. And we went to Berlin. We were there during the the anniversary. So that was really cool. And we went to a concert. We went and saw Sisters of Mercy in Berlin. And I was talking to some guy next to us, and he was like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Colorado." And he's like, "What? You sound like you're from Denmark." And I'm like, I have a northern German accent." It felt really good. He did not think I was American.
That's always funny to me. Like for people who speak other like multiple languages, your second and third language, you have an accent in that language, and that didn't register to me until someone told me I spoke Spanish with a Mexican accent. I was like, what does that mean? What? I don't know what that means.
I get that because you hear a lot of people that speak English that have learned it in American and then learn English in Britain.
Right.
You can hear the accent massively. And like people like, do you know who Peter Schmeichel is? Former Man United goalkeeper. He's a Dane. He's a Dane,
Yeah.
but he's
the sports baller. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, you little prick. But he's got a northern accent, but Danish. It is so weird. I wish we could show an example, but I'm sure we'll be banned.
Yes,
from
we
something.
will.
Yep.
They will pull this stream right the fuck down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull it
We're done.
right down.
So how comes you moved around so much?
Well, and I moved around even more than that because we moved a bunch in New England. My mom just didn't like to stay in the same place. And then my parents split when I was young. I was born in Vegas because that's where they met. And then she moved me back east because that's where she was from. And then I went to college in Utah. And then I fell in love with a woman. I was Mormon and I fell in love with a woman. And being a lesbian in Utah is really not super great, especially if you have kids, because you're very isolated. So my girlfriend and I decided to move to Washington State, and we were there for a while. And then I moved here to Colorado when she and I broke up.
Hmm.
So I'm just a traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Have Curian will travel.
Have Carrie will travel, yeah. Well, and it's funny because when I moved to Colorado, I was like, okay, I just have to accept I'm never going to stay in the same place for very long. And I've now been here for like 13, 14 years. I'm just like, I don't even understand what happened. I moved here thinking I'll be here for a couple years. I'm just itinerant. And now it's the longest place I've ever lived.
So how do you like being so transient in your lifestyle? How do you sort of like point your arrow in a direction and go, I want to go there? Like what is it that draws you to these places? Because me, I'm quite happy where I am. I wouldn't be like, I'm just going to uproot myself and go here.
I visited and liked it. I mean, it was really that simple. Like I took a weekend trip up to Portland and the Seattle area, and I was like, this is a great place to live. I felt it was obviously a lot more liberal than Utah, and I missed the rain. I mean,
I love rain.
Yeah.
You should move to England.
I thought about it, but they got some big wanker up there fucking staring in windows at the outside of fucking BBC fucking buildings. So
knocking on random strangers' doors, telling them about his vocal harmony group,
handing out fucking CDs. I don't want to deal with that.
Wow.
Not with COVID. Not with COVID.
Yeah.
I love how it always goes full circle to burying me.
We'll teach you to ask good questions.
Coming back.
Yeah, talking about Barry and Wayne. Wayne, have you gotten any parcels in the mail lately?
No.
Anything you want to share with the group?
No, nothing at all.
Nothing happened.
Come on, man. Let us see it.
Come on, get your pen.
Okay.
Oh God, no.
This is not that kind of
I thought you wanted to see the Waymaker.
Jesus.
Oh my God.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know which one.
I can't zoom in that far, dude. So.
Oh, bless you. You need to get better equipment.
No, I sent it to you, Mike.
Yeah, I've been getting some spam through the post. I think it's
Spam.
Yeah.
The meat?
No, as in the unsolicited mail
What do you
through the
mean?
post. Well, apparently I'm a member of the Poultry Club UK.
Wow.
And I don't know which one of you fucks has signed me up.
Wow.
Look at Shartan, look. And Mikey's playing innocent too much,
Yeah.
right?
If my kids was like that, I think they did something.
Now,
This is the thing, right?
I am shocked and appalled, and quite frankly, I'm hurt that you would think that I'm lying about this. Why would I lie to you, Wayne?
Well, let me tell you something, you little fuckbag.
You are Paul. You are not Paul.
The only people in this stream that have my home address are you, Jartan, and Brenna.
I actually have it too, Wayne.
But Cortez, you ain't got time for that.
Actually,
Okay, so how do
know
you?
where live. I've seen your house, remember?
So
Yeah.
so wait a minute. So why is Brenna
I know you're
completely
driving.
off the hook? Like you didn't even like. Did you interrogate Brenna? Did you insult her like you insulted me?
I literally have no time for that shit.
I
Like,
work.
really
I work
don't.
1,000
Work
hours.
for a living.
Because
Wayne,
hang on.
You
Let
called
me-
me a midget, and
let
you
me
made
finish.
fun of American wrestling.
All right,
Why do you think
Keith
they wanted me?
Wee, wind your neck in, right?
There it is. Drink, everybody. He said it. He said it. Drink.
Oh,
That's his
I'll tell you for
catchphrase.
what.
oh
I'll tell you for
God,
why.
Jartan.
I'll tell you for why. Because Brenna is
That really
the
does make my eyes water.
Brenna is the conscience of this podcast. She is the person when we're all sitting here getting all like banterific. She's the one that says, "Oh, shut the fuck up, you bunch of cunts," right?
I do.
But not in such cold
yeah.
language.
No.
Yeah, I was just
But-
kind of using my vernacular.
We do.
You're wearing a shirt from a
we-
defunct wrestling organization.
Still going, mate. It's still going.
We might have to explain this to our
They have
guests. So
three signees.
There's a chicken thing. I've got that.
so about
Address paranoia.
very early in this podcast history, we had and the pandemic had just started. By the way, we had a very dear friend and neighbor of mine, Dr. Emma, on to explain a bit because she listened to one of our streams and she was like, "Yeah, you were wrong about almost everything, dude." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool. If we're wrong, come on the podcast and tell us what we're wrong about." Yeah, and she came on and she was fantastic. And if you have time for that, look at the Sunday special with Dr. Emma, which is one of our best episodes to date, even though it's very early in our podcast history.
Okay.
She's a great.
It was a little
Yeah.
rough, but the content is perfect.
Yeah, the content is very good. And she explained a lot about how COVID works and all that to us. But at some point in this, she told this story about how they asked her if I was a good neighbor, and they were like, "Yeah, he's all right, but he's very adamant about watching our chickens when we got away." And from this, apparently, I have a very unsuitable affection for chickens, according to these guys.
For poultry, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
And it has become an ongoing joke.
yes, it's.
And the thing is, we have like certain things that persist in every single episode, and one of those is also Brenna doing a mid roll.
Okay.
Shiggity, 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 blah, shiggity, bop, bop, boop, bop, boom.
Thank you, Wade, for that beautiful segue. Oh, I love you guys. So of course, segue into one of my favorite segments, as our Patreon. So
Whoop, whoop.
because you love us and you want to see more of us,
More of us.
Okay, I'm getting ready.
Ba-da-da-dum.
make sure you go to patreon.com/thebidpodcast and become one of our wonderful patrons because
Why?
drum roll please. We got a patron for $100, which means we had the chicken show.
Chicken show!
Thank you, Chicken Anonymous, for
Wow.
indulging us with the $100 chicken show. So wherever you are, Mr., Mrs., or non-binary, Chicken Anonymous.
Non-binary
So
chickens makes
You're
me
so
smile.
progressive. You can be a turkey if you like. We don't care.
Yeah. But thank you for that. But let me continue. So, of course, our last one was Chicken Anonymous with the Chicken Show. We also have Barbara.
Barbara.
We have Tons of Mice.
Tons of mice.
We have Miss Nana.
Hi, Mom.
we have
Hello, Mikey's mum.
David.
David.
We have Katarina.
Katarina.
We have Stuart.
Stuart.
We
Stuart.
have Austin.
I love Austin.
Austin
Yes.
Bounty.
We have Kristen.
Hey, girl. What you doing after the show, Kristen?
Yeah, Kristen, what are you doing after the show?
I'm
Hey.
sorry,
Yeah.
Kristen. I really am. And of course, Richard. So
Richard.
one of our first. So continue. Make sure that you go to patreon.com/the and continue being our wonderful patrons. And thank you again to Chicken Anonymous for our $100 Chicken Show Patreon.
So I have a question though. Should the Chicken Show be an open show, or should it only be a Patreon only show?
Oh, that's a good shout.
Because there has been somebody, Mikey, put out a poll on our Patreon
I don't know what you're talking about.
and asked for suggestions from our dear viewers, our dear Patreons, about what to do. So there are some suggestions there. One of them is me doing an entire show holding said chicken.
Good times that. I think I found the Dr. Emma episode. I'm uploading it now.
Okay, cool. So should we do it as a patron only, so that you have to?
My new hat.
Oh,
say?
look at that!
Oh.
The Poultry Club of the Great Britain,
That's cute.
founded 1870.
That's
No,
amazing.
it's fantastic. I love it.
I'm in love. I'm in love.
Beautiful.
It's a
Or
cute
you
hat,
could do
Wayne.
a hybrid, like you could do like early release or a little bit longer show for your Patreons, but let other people have a taste of the awesome. Like
I've had a problem with early release in my past.
I have to make an
Gross,
Wayne.
Wayne. Gross.
Yeah.
Gross. Bad Wayne. Early
Well,
release.
I mean, I got out of work early. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Play innocent now.
Oh, God.
Uh-huh.
You're disgusting, Wayne.
Yes, I do have to admit one thing though. There are
Uh-oh.
two things that properly scare me in the animal world. It's horses and it's chickens.
Well, can we all agree that horses are monsters and should be all made into glue immediately? Like, they have rocks for feet. I'm not okay
Dude,
with
Mr.
this.
Horseback riding. Come on.
I didn't name it that. You know I'm
No,
only
but
like 30-something.
I know that
didn't
Wayne's
name
with me on this.
horseback riding.
I know that Wayne's with me. It's in the rest of the world. It's just called horse riding. But Americans are so stupid. They need to specify which part
Yeah.
of the horse to get on.
Yeah, because we default horse riding is horse riding, and the only person in the country that rides side saddle is the Queen.
I don't think that there's a problem with being thorough, and I think you guys are just angry at nothing.
No, it's the same thing with pavement, dude.
Just mad at-
Sidewalk.
There's a difference. There's just
You
a
had to
difference.
call it. You had to tell people where to walk. You couldn't just call it pavement like the rest of the goddamn world.
Yeah, you have to walk on the side.
You
You have to walk on the side. Not where
And
the
I had-
cars are.
And like I have this like image of Americans just wearing out in the streets and getting hit by cars until they're like, no, we can't call it pavement because nobody understands that, so we have to call it sidewalk. So you know you have to walk on the side.
First
of the road.
first of all, your country has bears, so shut up about our sidewalks.
So does yours, you dickhead.
Like 5.
Oh, really? Really?
I
you have
counted
more
them.
bears than we do, just because they're not where you
I
are.
can name 2, Yogi and Boo Boo. Right?
It's not our fault that we're thorough with things. And Wayne, you clearly have not mastered English because you speak British. No one knows what the hell you're saying half the time. You call everything the wrong fucking word, and then you retroactively want to say you
again.
invented us. But then again, there's more of us, so we get to
love the
decide how to
fact-
say
I
things.
love how Atlantic brave you are. Atlantic brave you are. Come at my ass and say that
No.
to me. Come on.
Well, with COVID right now, I don't think traveling's a good idea, so I'll stay here. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just the COVID. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'd be right over, but COVID.
Mikey wouldn't fit. No, so we have established, and I have gotten thorough fucking proof of a video that Wayne posted. Was it you that posted that video of you back in 2009, or was it Scott?
I think it was Scott.
I think it was Scott that posted it. So we now know he's thoroughly 6'3". Like, you looked like a fucking monster in that fucking video, dude.
What video? Is that the MTV Cribs thing that we did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aicila, do you remember the boy band 5?
Vaguely.
That's Wayne's best friend over there, Scott from 5. He's been on the show a couple times, and I always love having him on because all he does is tell us very embarrassing stories about Wayne, and it is a delight.
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel that this podcast was set up just to bury me.
Well, I'm glad you're finally on board.
Isn't it nice to be loved? I mean, the only reason anybody would do that is because they love you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the girl that you push down in the sandbox.
Does that count for bestiality as well?
Jesus, and we're back.
God.
Is that your poultry thing again? The unsuitable effect?
Right.
Is that where we're going?
I'm gonna.
Did we ever leave?
I'm gonna stop this. Right. Do we have some subject matter to talk about with regards to current affairs?
You had something to pull up, and we've been talking for 30 minutes.
We've been fucking tap dancing for you forever. Come on,
exactly, and we did a good job of it. No,
and then he tries to remind us, like, you guys want to get on fucking topic? The link, bro.
You're the
This is what
topic.
we're here for. This is what we're here for, you bunch of absolute melts.
And
you be nice to Aicila. She's new.
I was okay, like, I feel so included. Thank you.
Do you hear how crisp and beautiful Wayne's sound is tonight?
it's lovely.
Crispier than fried chicken.
fantastic.
It's smooth.
Oh,
Chicken?
but not burnt fried chicken.
Nah.
No.
I
no.
will dig into the fucking episodes and find that because
Let's
that was.
get back on point. Right, see, us Brits, inventors of America, we are the first people to allow the Pfizer vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
So we're stocking up on it right now. You can all see the screen.
Yes.
BBC News. Don't put BBC into Mikey's website. You won't like what you see.
Shut your whore mouth.
Oh, okay.
Hate you.
But the UK has become the first country in the world to approve the Pfizer biotech coronavirus vaccine, paving the way for mass vaccination. Britain's medicines regulator, the MHRA,
What?
MH.
Oh, I thought you said H.
Just full of acronyms. Just
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
I don't know.
Medical Health Rationing Administration.
Association. Which offers up to 95% protection against COVID-19 illness, is safe to be rolled out. The first doses are already on their way to the UK, with 800,000 due in the coming days, at Pfizer say. I don't want to say what Matt Hancock says because he's a cock, but how do you guys feel about the fact that we are saying, okay, we're having this?
Well, do you trust it? Like, do you trust your process and your leaders? Do you think they're actually
Yeah.
point?
Because the thing is, we have to show deference to people that know better than us, and when we start dissenting and saying no, especially when it comes to health and vaccines and stuff like that, well, we've given our daughters vaccines that we trust and we approve of because people that know better than us say that this is good for us.
Yeah.
So when it comes to this kind of thing, I can sit there and go down the conspiracy theory alley and end up nowhere, mainly dead.
mm-hmm.
Let me get my tinfoil hat. Didn't know we were talking about conspiracies.
Yeah. And I just think, look, if there's a vaccine out there and the powers that be decree that this vaccine is decent and good, then stick it me on.
Yeah.
Give it me. I don't. How many vaccines have you had over your lifetime?
Oh, more than one.
Mhm.
Oh, there you go. So why do you now criticise this one? The only reason you criticise this one or have a bit of scepticism about this one is because of the propaganda that's been put out against it. Why would these people?
I just was wondering if you trusted it because I know our process has gotten really political over here. So
Yes.
I'm just curious
massively.
what your experience was, as someone who's actually living somewhere else, not just the media part.
No, I think there's like a. I'll have to quickly Google it, but there's a massive amount of people that are untrusting of the vaccine. This propaganda that's been put out about Bill Gates and about Mark of the Beast, all this kind of stuff that I was well aware of.
They're gonna chip you.
Yeah.
I hope so.
As the goalless, they're going to stick you on the Mark of the Beast. You're not going to be able to go to the cinema. You're not going to be able to go to they're going to burn you. So, yeah. I used to watch Alex Jones quite a lot. So
Did you just have a stroke?
It was hate watch. Don't worry.
I
Yeah.
think
He
Wayne
loves
just had a
Alex.
stroke. No, calm down. I think he just had a stroke. Let's calm down a bit.
Give him some water. I don't know. What do you do when someone has a stroke?
But no, that's the thing. For me, like if the people that are in, if people that know more than me about a certain subject say to me that this is good for you, I'll be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I defer to your superior knowledge. I'm not going to sit there and go, I'm going to do my own research on the internet. Oh, well, I've spent 5 minutes Googling this. I know more about it than this professor.
All right.
You know, Googling medical stuff is always dangerous. I'm confident I have like lupus or cancer after I look up
It's
four
always
things. I'm
lupus.
like, I can't even, right?
And the thing is, if you hang around in this particular podcast, you'll find that we do have professors, virologists, doctors that come and tell us that people we know. So it's not like people that are external of our own spheres.
Yeah.
Like,
We have also had lawyers that have worked with vaccine development for over 30 years. That has been and worked for one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world.
And there's
to
a
talk about
reason
this.
because we do not know enough about it to talk about it.
Yeah.
Especially like it's science is so broad and it encompasses so much that we need the science more and more right now. And we need the information from that science. And especially when it comes to this incredibly global pandemic, that we need to know about the vaccines and we need to know about the viruses and we need to know about how it's transmitted and how we can stop it. And it's great that the UK has actually said, yeah, we're ready for this. And that means that we can see how they do it and how their system can actually handle putting the vaccines through. And I know the US is a little bit bigger. We're a little bit more spread out and we have a higher population.
only a little bit.
We have a higher population, so it's not going to. We're not going to be able to have vaccines out overnight as quickly as the UK can. But at least we can start it and we can see.
Even
Can I just
sorry.
say one thing? Because Alicia put out an article that we are going to have on the screen in just a second. But if I was to decide on these things, and you said, no, I won't get vaccinated because I don't believe what the doctors tell me, I don't believe what the scientists tell me, I don't believe the science in vaccines, you should get a card that says, I'm not allowed to go to hospital when I get sick. Because why would you trust medical professionals in that regard when you need them, but you won't when it protects anybody but yourself, right?
So
No, I'm not done talking. So because I'm properly fucking pissed about this. I am properly fucking pissed about this. It's insane the fact that we allow these people we allow these fucking people to go around endangering the people that can't have the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because we have never had, as we have learned on this show, we have never had a fucking herd immunity to any virus disease without a vaccine. The only way that we have ever achieved that is through having a fucking vaccine, right? And if people don't take the vaccine, what was it? 75% need to be immune to the disease for us to have herd immunity. I think that's what Elisa said when she was on the show, right?
Yeah.
75%.
There.
Something around that. And if we are to achieve that, everybody who can take it, who doesn't have a disease that prevents you from taking the vaccine, we need to protect them through herd immunity by taking a fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
And you are endangering everybody who's in the fucking danger zone, who has has an autoimmune disease or can't take the vaccine for any fucking reason. You are endangering them. You are essentially a danger to fucking society by not taking the vaccines. So listen to the healthcare professionals. Take the fucking vaccine, or you won't be able to have healthcare at all. Sorry.
Go ahead,
When
Elise.
you're done, can I respond? Because I want to piggyback on your being pissed.
Yeah, do it. Piggy that back.
This is what we're here for.
All right. So in the US, culturally, we have this obsession with freedom and liberty, right? People are my freedom, like my freedom to not be affected, right? Exactly. And my perspective on that is that what we're actually talking about is entitlement, because the people who want freedom only want the freedom that is for them or people that look like them. And that's not freedom. That's adolescent rebellion or entitlement. If you
100%.
want free access to your guns, you should equally want women to have free access to abortion. And if you oppose the one and not the other, then you're not into freedom. And what you say is complete bullshit, and I'm not here for it. And it's the same thing that you're talking about with regards to the vaccine. Okay, great. You're free not to take the vaccine. And that's the other piece for me. You have to then have personal responsibility for your choices, which means you don't take the vaccine. You don't get to go to hospital or whatever. You have to stay home. You have to stay away from people who are going to get sick from you. That's not fair.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Go ahead, Wayne.
I totally disagree. Because I'll tell you why I disagree. Because the whole point of Medicare for all is we look after people regardless. That's it. If people want to be dicks about stuff, that's fine.
They can't endanger other people.
Okay. Well, let me give you a prime example. This is really like insular on me, right?
Sure.
I was playing football. I broke my finger. Look, it's still fucked, right?
Okay.
I was playing football. Broke my finger. My NHS still fixed me up. They didn't say, well, you shouldn't be playing football.
That's not the same thing.
No,
I'm not
it
talking about
is.
No,
It is.
it
It
is.
is.
No.
hurt and you
It
getting
is.
longer. It's not you having a back. You're not. You're
were
losing
playing
the back.
soccer.
The whole point of having an NHS is they look after you regardless of your political persuasions, your choices. If you're hurt, and they will fix you up. And that's what it needs to be. Right. So all these dickheads that are out there spouting this nonsense about the virus and then getting it, we will still look after them. We will still look after them.
I totally agree. You should look after them. I'm saying they shouldn't be allowed to interact with people if they won't prevent themselves from like spreading the virus.
So things like we have for public school, children cannot go into public school without having certain vaccinations, right?
Mhm.
So you don't attend, your children cannot attend until they get the vaccine. So something very similar to that, especially with if you're traveling, you will need to have the vaccine.
No,
So you can cut people off from traveling until they get the vaccine.
I totally agree with that. But what I'm saying is, when someone gets sick, you treat them. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about your gender, your race, religion, whatever your standpoint is. You get sick, we treat you. That's
exactly.
it.
No, I agree with that. Yeah. What I don't agree with, or what I think is that if you do not choose to get the vaccine, it presented to you and said, we have one for you.
Right.
And if you say no, not because of medical reasons, because I have a friend who is going through chemo. She obviously cannot have that, but I need it if I want to see her. Yeah. So that's preventing me from doing a basic thing. But if I want to go, say, visit Wayne, the UK will have to require me to have that vaccine.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If I want to come back, I have to have that vaccine.
You see, the thing is that we're arguing two different points here, because what I'm saying is that if you don't choose to have the vaccine and you get ill, I am not saying you should be prevented from healthcare, because
no, that's me saying
that wasn't my point. I wasn't saying that they should benefit from
No,
healthcare.
no, but you said you was piggybacking on Jartan's point, and that's why I was kind of
Okay.
going against that.
That's a dangerous back to piggy.
Yeah. Because what I'm saying is,
I don't regret my choice though.
yeah.
And
It
it's
would be
surprisingly
Oh, you
hairy.
really
as well.
should. You really should.
YOLO.
It's also surprisingly hairy.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like, say for instance, someone's driving down the road and they're not wearing a seatbelt. They're legally required to wear a seatbelt, and they have a car crash. Are we going to say, "Oh, you're wearing a seatbelt, we'll just leave you on the side of the road"? No. That's the principles of the NHS. Is we treat everyone the same. If you're sick, we help you get better. And do you know what? You don't get a bill at the end of the day.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we are trying to keep people alive. If you choose to make choices that are detrimental to your own health, we will still treat you. We'll still treat you.
So I had. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that when it comes to vaccinations, if a private company says you can't come in here because you haven't had the vaccine, that's fair dues. That's different gravy. But if it's something to do with like Medicare for all, which is our NHS, you get sick, we treat you. We don't give a fuck about your opinion. We see that you're sick. That's it. That's it.
I think one angle that we kind of haven't really touched on.
Oh, my eyes!
Shut your dirty whore mouth. One angle that we haven't really touched on is, especially here in America, trusting your government is not always beneficial, because certain communities have a healthy and a warranted distrust of the United States government. Look at Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Look, you know what I mean? Like they
100%.
they trusted their municipal services to take care of things, and they were grossly let down. And it was like these kids, like in 10, 15 years, we'll have to check in on these children and see how they're doing. They have consumed so much lead that there's not going to be nothing from that. Like that has affected them. So, and especially if it's the fucking Trump administration, if they're releasing a fucking vaccine, do you fucking trust it? Like we have to weigh all of these things now. So I don't think all of the people are just like, fuck that, I'm anti-vax, it's gonna give my kid autism, which it doesn't. Vaccines do not cause autism.
And autism isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not death.
Sorry, Mikey. Wasn't there a massive controversy when Obama went to Flint and drank some tap water?
That was not his proudest moment, dude. But can I just say that?
You see what I'm saying? No. So, Jota, you're talking about the Trump administration.
No.
The
When
Obama administration did the
Obama
same
went
thing.
there. Obama went there and he drank the water and he made a fucking deal out of it, and it was horrible. It was one of his worst moments in his presidency, according to me. But I just want to say, when we get back to what I said in the beginning, I have never talked about the government. I have said that. And I'm talking out of the perspective of the healthcare system that we have, right?
Right.
So when a healthcare professional makes a statement, when one of the heads of one of our agency makes a statement, it's actually legal for a politician to contradict that, because politicians are not medical professionals. They are not allowed to go out there and make contradictory if there are claims against that. That is actually illegal. You can't do that. So when our medical professionals over here went out and they gave recommendations on how to handle COVID and all of that, the government couldn't go in and say, "Oh, we're going to do something completely different." They have to follow the same rules as everybody else. This is what the medical community has said, because there is no difference between those two. What I'm saying, and let's now take the elected officials out of it. If you say, I'm not trusting my doctor when he says, get the fucking vaccine, but as soon as you break a bone, then you trust your doctor.
But that's at least for over here, I think that's not the issue. I think hold on.
I agree. I am agreeing with you.
Okay, then let me say what you agree with. Goddamn. So I think if everybody, like if Dr. Fauci came out with a vaccine, Americans would have no problems with it. But as soon as we hear the Trump administration releases a vaccine, you're like, I don't know about
Swish,
that.
swash, swoosh.
That's copyright infringement.
Wow. Sue him, Mikey. Sue him.
Yeah. It's
He will.
liable right
He
there.
will. I promise you. He will.
Yeah.
All right. So, former presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, and Bill Clinton have pledged to get vaccinated for coronavirus on television to
Are all
promote
of-
the safety of
Time
the
out.
vaccines.
Time out. Are all of them younger than fucking Trump?
Yep.
might be.
Even at this age now, I think they're all still younger than Trump.
And Biden.
And healthier.
Yeah. Yes, but oh, fucking hell! It still fucking hurts to see Clinton. Is that just me?
His voice,
Yeah.
his voice is crazy now. Like he must have smoked
Yeah.
Lucky Strikes his entire life. 'Cause his voice is burbling and crackling like a fucking fire log. It is so disturbing to hear him talk now.
I don't know what you're.
Oh, Jesus.
I wanted
Smoke.
to share that with you guys because, to your point that you were saying, like, you would trust the vaccine, you trust your leaders, and obviously we have to counter the political marketing that has been, so extensive at attacking our science community, our health community.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's happening is these presidents are saying, well, I'm going to take this publicly. They wouldn't have to do that if our system were not so broken.
Right.
And it's both great that they're doing it, and it's a real sign of how massively messed up things are.
Yeah,
I agree
Well,
100%.
Trump kind of made or helped move this narrative about like science is political.
Yeah.
Like masks are political. The sanitizing political, vaccines political. He helped bring that now when we actually need it, and we see that how much that has destroyed our capability of getting these vaccines and getting people healthy. And it's science is not political. There is no politics in science. It's fact.
What
It
you
has-
mean, like
it has no-
counting?
It
Like
has
1,
no
2.
like make the reason why our numbers are going up is not just because we are testing more, it's because people are not taking care of themselves and preventing the spread. So those are the kind of things where it's like science needs to be looked at in the lens of science and not through this politics. But Trump is not letting that. His administration has not let that. And that's what Fauci has been sort of wavering on. That is, he's teetering on the edge because he's like, I'm a scientist, but I have to keep my job.
Yeah.
So with that being said, did we all see the fact-led inquiry with Mayor Giuliani and his star witness? Just recently.
I'm 21 hours of bullshit. I'm not watching that.
I can't hear Rudy Giuliani anymore. Like I'm just like that part of my brain just shuts off. I can't do it anymore.
I'm just expecting
can't
his dentures to fall out at any
physically
time.
As long as he doesn't, as long as he doesn't lay it down on,
So gross, right?
as long as he doesn't lay down on the bed to adjust his shirt again, I'm fine.
Have you all seen what's it called? Fifth Element.
Yeah,
No,
he looks like
Carol.
Zorg.
Yeah.
He looks
Where
just like
he's
Zorg, where
sweating.
he's got the fucking bead of blood coming down.
It's got all that.
Yeah, no, it's so bad.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with and how did Mayor Rudy Giuliani get to this point? Like he's just
We
such a
can't.
fucking shit show. It's like it's incredible. It's like a comedic, like a comedian couldn't do this better than he is.
Yeah,
He has
you
incriminated-
can't
He's
write
like
this
a-
shit.
No, you
He's like
can't
a
make this
parody
shit-
of a parody of himself.
You can't make this shit up because he has
Satire is dead.
Yeah.
he has contradicted Donald Trump on air, on live air, incriminating him in fucking liable fucking crimes more times.
Even if you
than-
did do it, it's not a crime. You can't.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
What?
what?
The president
What?
can do it. The president can do whatever he wants, right?
He butt dialed reporters when he was talking to people, and like they got incriminating conversations from their
Yo.
voicemail.
Yo, did you see that? You seen his donk? He got a big old thing back there. He can't help but butt dial people. You see that big old caboose? You had to. Sometimes people get dialed up. You get the big old can on the back. You know, he thick.
He twerks, man.
You had them cheeks clapping, baby.
Ren and Stimpy.
I don't want to think about that.
Every time he walk, it's just be like,
Baby, turn around and let me see that be the thing go bum bum bum.
I'm so tired of
This is going off the rails.
incompetent jerks failing up.
Yeah.
If I make a tiny mistake, I'm screwed.
yeah.
And these guys lie, cheat, steal, brag about it, and then someone gives them a book deal or a promotion.
They
I'm
make
just like,
tons of
what
money.
crazy world are we living in?
Yes, but even if you fucking even if you get sentenced over there, even if you go to jail over there, you end up in some cozy fucking Waffle House.
Yeah.
With you not like.
I wouldn't. That's how I'd end up.
No, you wouldn't. But if
No.
you're fucking rich, you would be like in some country farm where you just walk around and just feeling good about yourself, or you go to
Yeah.
work with a couple of what was his name, Epstein, who went to work every day.
Lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
After molesting
Someone got
children
the
for
wrong
30
memo
fucking
with
years.
Epstein. He didn't get the pardon. He
Yeah.
got the pardon.
Yeah.
This from the chat. Tons of mice. Thanks, tons of mice. I was the only person with a mask in a room, and a guy walked in and said, "Why are you wearing a mask?" The problem with America is that it's full of Americans. I agree.
I think Wayne would agree with that.
America's
I
a
think
beautiful place if you get rid of all the fucking people.
I think the biggest
Sorry
problem.
about
With,
that.
I think the biggest problem with America though is that it's created by cunts.
Yeah, no, I would
Cunts
definitely
invented
agree with
us.
that. No,
Well,
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you for why. Because our British, it's more English exceptionalism. Because take away from the Scots and the Welsh and the Northern Irish, there's an English exceptionalism that thinks that we are superior in absolutely everything that we do. I mean, I joke about it, right? But there is a culture within our nation that just says, "Oh no, we're better than that. We don't need to listen to you," and we act like petulant, spoiled children. So when it comes to people telling you that they know better because they're, I don't know, experts on something, we turn around and say, "No, fuck it, we're going to Google that." Oh, so I found the evidence that you're wrong, which is based on absolutely nothing but speculation and hearsay. But your scientific study is trumped by that, and that culture exists within the American psyche and is perpetuated by the right-wing media, because what we're doing is we're denigrating academia, we're denigrating education, and we're telling people that they should know better than the experts because they've read something online. They saw someone online that had a different opinion, but that opinion married up with theirs. So that opinion now becomes fact.
Right.
So what we're doing is conflating opinion against fact. And unfortunately, because that gets clicks and that generates revenue, we're putting this false equivalency out there.
Yeah.
And that is the scary thing. That is the scary thing.
There's also one more thing, is that belief and fact has become equivalent.
Yes, 100%.
And I'm not, and now I'm talking about Sweden, because if you look at Sweden now, right, almost 1 year into this pandemic, has 7,000 deaths. And I've tried to make this argument so many times, but then they go like, "Yeah, look in America." Yes, but you have to look at social structure, you have to look at economy, you have to look at happiness and wealth and healthcare systems and all of that to have something to compare it with. You can't just compare it to anything. So the only countries that equate to Sweden in that way are Norway, Finland, and Denmark. Iceland as well, but we can't really use data from Iceland because it's 2 people get sick in corona. It's like 5% of the fucking population. So
They're not real.
So it's not really, it's faulty data because the subject group is too small. But look at Norway, right? So you had more deaths in Sweden over 10 days, the last 10 days, over let's say the last fortnight. That's 14 days, 2 weeks for you Americans.
Shut up.
No, I'm not doing that.
How dare you?
Than Norway has had during the entire pandemic.
Hmm.
And then you have Swedes going around saying, no, but I still think that we're doing the right thing. Based on fucking what? Not based on the data that we have. No, I believe that in the future we will show. All right, so you believe, but you're not looking at statistics as they are right now. You are saying that I believe that sometime in the future this will even out. You have nothing on your table that says that this is working out well for Sweden. You have no data, no statistics, nothing that shows to support your argument. But you say, I believe that.
Yeah.
And then that sort of like trumps all of the actual statistics, the data that we have. Look at fucking Norway, 325 deaths. Right, in a population of 5 million. Yes, it's very stretched out. Denmark, 500 and something. Finland, something like, and all of these countries have about 5 million population, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sweden has 10 million.
But Scotland.
Yeah, and Sweden has 10 million people, but 7,000, not 700, 7,000 deaths, and Swedes still go like, no, but you know, we didn't have to close down, our economy's not doing it right. But then you start looking at the fucking charts on their actual GDP of 2020, and the second quarter, Sweden was down, yes, a little less than the 12% that the rest of Europe went, but if you look at Denmark, if you look at Norway, if you look at Sweden, they're still not coming off better than any one of them, right? If you look at suicide rates, it's still the same in fucking Sweden as it is. It's the same growth in Sweden as it is in the lockdown countries. So none of these arguments that they are using to say that this was the right way to go are really working out. But they still go on saying, but I believe.
Yeah.
I believe. What the fuck are you believing in?
So let me try to segue us into the next I think a good conversation point here. And Aicila, this is something that you kind of specialize in. And when it comes to like talking to people and trying to get people to understand things and see that they're wrong about something. So I think we're all in agreement, obviously, about staying home, being safe, getting the vaccine when the vaccine comes out, and all of this very obvious shit to us. But Aicila, what do you think are some tips and tricks and maybe things to avoid that people, if they're trying to convince someone to listen to science, which should be fairly obvious, but it isn't for that person? Like, how do you reach out to those people and how do you connect with them as opposed to Shartan screaming at them and taking more shots of fucking
Uzo?
He's
All right,
trying to cure himself.
Shartan has style. I mean, let's be clear. Well,
he's taking that fucking suit off is what he's fucking doing.
he's like,
Oh, he's done an hour and 20. Well done to him.
Well, I'll speak directly to what he said, and then I'll expand it to what you were talking about, Mikey, which is there's a lot going on, and you can't really know specifically why people are focused on their belief. However, I don't know if any of you are a fan of the Hidden Brain podcast. I love it. And they actually did an article on a psychological effect that I do think is at play here, which is once you've made a decision that is costly to you and irreversible, you will then convince yourself that it was absolutely the right decision.
Necessary at the time.
Yeah, it's necessary. And so one of the things that I personally think is happening is that's at play. And it's a survival tactic that's why when they talk about one of the things that's least effective in getting people to pay attention to something that's important or to think about things from a different perspective is giving them facts. That's like the least effective thing you can do, unfortunately, because most of the left is kind of academic wonks and they're always like, here are the facts. And it's just, it's unfortunately not going to get you where you want to get to. I'm a huge fan of the nonviolent communication methodologies. And specifically, if you don't dive into any of it, dive into what's called the LARA method: listen, affirm, respond, and add. And most of the time when we're communicating with someone, we start with wanting to respond to them. And because we skip those first two steps and we aren't in any kind of genuine connection with the other person, they're less likely to listen to us. Mm-hmm. So if I'm talking to you and you and I have a really big, strong disconnect about something, what I do first is I listen. and I listen until I hear something that I can genuinely agree with you on. So I can't be like, lip service, like, oh yeah, blah, blah, that too. I have to get to a place where I'm actually able to feel a sense of resonance between us. And then I affirm that. I'm like, and so I'll give the example, my father is a conservative Mormon Republican who lives in Southern Utah. And when I came out as a gay person, he was obviously not super on board with that. A queer person. And so we talked and we had a conversation because we love each other, even though we have different beliefs and different political beliefs. And finally, what he said was, I'm really scared because I don't think you're going to be safe. I don't think the world is ready for this. And I could hear that from a place of recognizing that my father loves me, cares about me. And I said, I get it. I get scared for my kids too. And so then from that perspective, I can affirm his conversation, and then I could respond to it and say, I understand why you'd feel that way. I appreciate that you love me enough that you worry about me, even though I'm in my 20s. This was a while ago. And then I added to it, right? And I said, and the world isn't going to be safer because I hide who I am. It's going to be safer when more of us say, this isn't something that we are going to tolerate hurting people over.
Right.
And we could get to that, and he could hear me, and he could understand where I was coming from. Now, is he out there like he's definitely not PFLAG parent or anything like that. However, over the years, he's definitely come more towards supporting me, and it hasn't come between us. And so that methodology of having that conversation in that way, it can help save your relationships. It can also, there are people that I had those conversations with who have over the years come towards more equity, more support for equal rights in a variety of contexts. So that's one that I really, really appreciate and value as a methodology that doesn't ever cause you to have to the thing is, you don't try to win the argument. You aren't actually trying to convince them of anything. You have to let go of that. What you're trying to do is listen and connect. And it does mean you have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to agree with something that you feel like might lose face for you. Like if they make a point that's legitimate, even though it's not one you like, you have to be able to say, I can see that, or I can understand why you have that perspective. Because if you can't do that and be present to actually sharing, you're never going to get to a place where you can connect and move forward.
I agree.
I agree
beautiful.
to a certain point. I always think that.
Here it is. Here we buckle up, everybody. Here we go.
All right, it's break time, everybody.
No. I agree to a certain point because we all know that if you address an aggressive person with aggressivity, you just escalate the situation. To if somebody's aggressive towards you, if you have a calm demeanor when you talk to them, you will de-escalate the situation. So it's very cool to do that and see the effects of that, and we do it in psychiatry all of the time. But at the same time, I'm in a bit of a predicament there because the ones who agree with me that the Swedish way was wrong are actually the ones who are on the far right, and the ones who are on the left, that I agree with politically, usually are standing by this. So I'm in a bit of a predicament, and this sort of takes me out of my comfort zone because all of a sudden I have to tell all of the people that I usually agree with, that are usually in my echo chamber, who I usually can have easy conversations with, that, no, on this point, you are wrong. And then I discovered they start doing the same thing as the right-wing people that I've been debating online for 10 years. It's like I said, well, look at just by Tegnell, which is our state epidemiologist. I got it right for the first fucking time. It must be the Uso.
Always blame the booze.
Always blame the booze. And I said, well, look at the things that we did, killed, and 7,000 people have died. It's a lot. And they're like, oh, so Tegnell killed 7,000 people, did he? And I'm like, that was not what I said. That was not what I said at all.
So maybe I think the lesson to be learned from all of this is to convince people maybe we should do less talking and more listening, because then we can meet people where they are. And then try to get them from where they are to where they need to be, or where we think they need to be.
Mikey, I just want to say also that Chardon, you're in the most powerful position you can be in. I have, 20 years of left-wing progressive activism under my belt. I have been working on issues in really like visible ways. And so when I'm speaking with the people that I know on the left, and I'm trying to point out, like, you are not being fair, or this is not legitimate, like you are doing the same thing that you accuse the right of doing or whatever, I have a much more powerful voice because I have the credibility of the work that I've done. And I have the credibility of the years that I have had these conversations and agreed with these people, right? And so, yeah, it's really difficult to be in contention with the people that you consider to be your allies. And that is absolutely where you can do the most good and make the most difference. And the reality is that, like, part of the whole Russian bot thing that we've been dealing with, and or whoever else, that those bots don't tend to incite across the political aisle. They've done a lot of studies that show they actually incite within the group. So like they'll release a meme that really creates a good impression of like how dumb like right-wing Christians are or whatever. And then the left people will like balloon it up and then they'll start attacking the right. Yeah. And they don't tend to they tend to incite us to do the attacking. So you like where you are, I get that it's hard, but it is the most powerful position you can be in.
Yeah, but it's also it's a very hard position to be in because these are people that I usually tend to think are intelligent and reflective people who I mostly agree with. But I'm also a firm believer, and Mikey knows this because he fucking blew up on me, but kill your darling. So when people say something that is...
Never done that before. Don't know what he's talking about.
Okay.
So when people, even if you fundamentally agree with them, when they say something that you just can't stand by, you should say, no, that is factually untrue. What you just said is factually untrue. And I firmly believe that you should do that. You should always point out the factual wrongs. But the problem that we have in the state today is that we don't agree on a baseline of facts.
Yeah.
And when we can't agree on a baseline of facts, how can we discuss the facts, right? Because everybody's got Google and everybody has... Wayne, you're muted.
Have to unmute yourself, sir.
Unmute yourself. Then you can talk. All right, as soon as he figures that out, we'll be about 35 to 40 minutes.
What I'm saying is we're dealing with two epidemics going on, or pandemics going on right now. We've got one of COVID, and we also have another of Dunning-Kruger, because the Dunning-Kruger effect is basically everyone thinks that they know better than everyone else because they've read something that proves their confirmation bias. And unfortunately, when you have so much emotional investment into a certain subject matter, you will not hear facts, you will not hear reason. You'll just have so much in your belief. And your belief cannot be trumped. Like, if I take an evangelical and an atheist, put them together, you are not going to get any movement from either side. You can't, because the belief is too entrenched. So this is the problem. We need to drill through what is fact and have a baseline, like you say, Zlatan, a baseline of what is fact and work from there. If we do not have an equivalent baseline, you cannot move forward. And what we're getting at the moment is people going, see, look, I've got this that I've just Googled. See, proves what I was saying. And this confirmation bias just only reinforces someone's opinion. An opinion is being held up as equivalent to fact, and that's the problem.
And that's one of the reasons we do this show, because what is the one thing that we implore everybody who comes on this show, who listens to the show, to say every now and then? When faced with new facts, be brave enough to say, I was wrong, I changed my mind. When I got new information, when I got new facts on the table, the opinion that I used to hold, it didn't hold up in court. It didn't hold up to scrutiny. I changed my mind. And there's nothing wrong about that. It's actually a strength. And we applaud everybody at every point. At the face of new information, be brave enough to change your mind.
And I think that's definitely one of our strengths, is that all of us have been on air or in private, said, God damn it, I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Or you know what? Fine. You were right. I was wrong. Fuck you.
100%.
Fuck you. You were right on this one. You got me. I agree with you now.
This is the thing. Having that humility to say, yeah, I got that wrong. You've presented me with new evidence and new facts. I have to say that I got that wrong.
Hold on. Speaking
Don't
of
be a flat earther who spent $5,000 on a gyroscope and go, oh, that's interesting.
now we have to say something right now, and which is why I got no. Put Wayne. Come on, Wayne.
I'm getting buried either way.
So we're being rated on Twitch right now. We have like 70 people watching us on Twitch right now, and they are all dogpiling on Wayne. And this is the best thing that's happened to me.
My friends, my moderators from the Going In Raw podcast. Hello, guys. Welcome. Bunch of cunts.
Oh, they're just dogpiling. So let me get some choice ones here. Wayne, can you answer just yes or no to these questions that they're asking you in the chat?
Yep, go on.
Are you a fake owl that you put on the stoop to scare the birds away? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so there you go, guys. He is not a fake owl. Are you a Russian bot?
No.
Well, they said he actually sounds smart, so he must be a Russian bot because all the bots are very smart. So I think you just confirmed that you are a Russian bot. Let me grab another one here.
Or am I doing a double?
Oh, undercover agent. Oh.
Yeah.
Jartan, they want to know if you're running for parliament. That's
I am.
I don't want to be any part of that government.
That's from Easism. Mr. Dope says your fridge is open. Just want to let you know about that.
It's not. You can see it's not.
Let's see here.
It's not.
I see the light. It's costing you more pounds by the second. Are you sure it's not open?
It's not.
You can see the light, he says.
It made you look.
It made you look. Oh, that's
It's
beautiful.
I'm sitting there going, no, it's not. I can see the line's parallel. Here, look. Parallel. Fucking missed that. So now all these boys are here now trying to get their moment. Trying to get their moment. Got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It's fantastic. Let's just wave to all the Wayne's friends out there, and thank you so much for joining our Twitch.
If you guys,
These are the guys. These are guys from the Going In Raw podcast. They're the moderators and their followers. So please go and give Going In Raw a follow on Twitch. They're good guys. It's a wrestling podcast, and I'm lucky enough and privileged enough to be one of the moderators when I'm not doing this and when I'm awake at 4 a.m. because they change their fucking times. But yeah, cheers, guys. Appreciate the raid.
Drink it.
Drink it.
I just followed them.
Say it so I can drink.
Oh wow! See, you got a new follower.
I'm
Say
following
it so I
them
can
back.
drink. Say it so I can drink.
Drink it.
No.
Poultry?
Oh, wine Janekin.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't know what the words are.
No, all these fuckers need to wind their necks in.
All right. So thank you guys for rating us. This is absolutely. And if you guys have any delicious stories you want to tell us about Wayne, just pop them in the chat, and we'll have Wayne read them. I'll copy them over to our private chat, and he can read them on air. So if you guys have anything that you would like to say to Wayne,
I'm pretty sure Steve will talk about my pink shorts. He loves my pink shorts.
you have pink shorts.
Yeah, pink Ralph Lauren shorts, mate.
Ralph
All
Lauren.
right. Cool.
Ralph
Yeah.
Lauren.
Let's see. Oh God. Oh, Alex
Now all, you
talking
need
about me.
to, now all you need to buy a Wrangler and you're in the club.
Hang on, wait.
Get yourself a Jeep. Maybe to match your shorts.
Jesus. Right. No, they're all coming with their jokes now. Look at them.
They're talking about you drinking boxed wine. Is that boxed wine, Wayne?
No, it's Lindeman's bin.
Yeah, but it's with a screw cork. I told you to get some proper wine for once.
Are you having a laugh?
He's taking the piss, as they say. Hi, Rob Zerver.
Rob Zerver. Rob Zerver is a great man, and he's the guy that's going to do us some good video editing because he is awesome at what he does.
All right, so
It's imported from Russia.
To all of Wayne's friends out there, make sure to congratulate him with his newly membership
yes.
into the Royal Poultry Club of Great Britain.
Yes, all of you need to know, and please share this around the Going In Raw clique. He is a new member of the Royal Poultry Club of the UK.
Paid for the entire year, by the way.
Show him your hat.
Apparently.
Show him your hat, Wayne. Come on.
Right. Let me explain to the guys. Right. One of these cunts, I don't know which one it was, right?
Who could it
signed
be?
me up.
Who could it be?
It's not Brenner. One of these cunts signed me up to the Poultry Club of the UK, right? I got this hat in the post. Look at this.
Oh, look at it. It's great.
But I've had a newsletter. I've had a badge. I've had some bump, and I had like a little button, what they call it in America.
A pin.
Yeah, a pin.
Enforcer Steve says, I knew you were a bird brain.
Fuck you, Stevie.
I'm sorry, Aicila, but this is like a once-in-a-lifetime chance for us
this is great.
to properly bury Wayne in front of all of his cool new friends. And this is great.
Wow.
I'm fully supported. I feel honored to be part of it.
Oh.
If I knew you better, I would be right there. But just imagine like a super snarky
all right.
comment,
It's
and
all
that's happening.
That just happened.
No, but the
All these-
reason
all
I'm
the-
so happy, is after a year of chicken jokes, it fucking backfired.
John saying you can fuck off. You can fuck off because you're doing something with chickens, and
Reluctant Alex.
that's Alex C.
Alex C has asked a question. Does the poultry club teach you how to choke the chicken? That's a
No,
real
Alex.
question.
Alex, that's your job, sir.
Gross.
All right.
Gross.
For everyone here, Alex C is a 6'7" monster.
Oh shit. I apologize, Mr. Alex C. I did not make those jokes. That was Shartan. I'm hiding off screen now. Terrified. Properly terrified.
Alex, I'll send you all his details. I have his home address and everything. Poultry Club for life.
This is the best thing.
All right. What I think we'll do is I think we're going to wrap this episode up, but I want to put Elisa in the main window because I have a couple of
Aicila.
questions for you. Aicila, sorry.
There you go.
Fucking hell.
You're gonna get
Aicila.
it. You're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Just
in the
love.
end.
Well,
So, Aicila, can you tell us a bit about the Bicurean podcast?
yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for asking. Bicurean is a passion project of mine that my co-host Eric Cosner, who I think should chat with you about guitars and other things, started doing about 3 years ago together. And our goal is to take controversial topics and make them play nice with each other. So we've taken on everything from guns and gun rights in the US to sex work to DC versus Marvel comics. We try to keep it fun sometimes, and just try to talk out what's under the rhetoric and the reaction. Like, you have your knee-jerk reaction, and then actually what's the larger conversation, and ultimately how can we get to a place where we know how to talk to each other about things without dehumanizing each other. I can disagree with you. I can think your thinking is off. I can passionately argue for what I believe in, and that doesn't mean I have to diminish or dehumanize you. And that, to me, is a big part of the problem that we're in. And then last year, we launched a campaign called Be the Change, and it speaks a little bit to what you guys were talking about. I publish an article on Medium, and I tweet about it. And I can shoot you a link to like the podcast that we did talking about what we were doing. But for me personally, that's a lot of what it is to say, if I want the world to be different, ultimately a lot of people are interested in changing the world, and very few people are willing to take responsibility for changing themselves. And if I want to see things be different, I have the most power and influence over myself. I can stop. I can say, I'm not going to diminish you. I can say, I'm going to listen. And I just want to be really clear. Listening is not about receiving abuse. It's not about not holding people accountable. It's not about tolerating people saying racist, sexist, horrible things. It's not about not correcting facts. It's about saying, I'm going to listen to where you're coming from, and I'm going to respond reasonably to those types of things because I'm more interested in figuring out how we can connect and find solutions. However, there are times when you have to walk away, and I just want to be really clear that it's not always the whole story. But so that's our podcast. That's our goal. We've had some really fun conversations. We've had some really deep conversations. We've had some really interesting guests. I'm hopeful that you guys will have Eric on, and I'd love to have you guys come on, and we'll do this in our forum. We don't cuss as much, but we're open to it. So
I don't. Did we?
I don't
curse.
Did we curse on this show? I don't even remember if we said any bad words.
I'm sorry.
You
I
said
don't think I said a cunting word wrong.
Oh, fuck off.
But anyhow,
but I am struggling now because why the fuck didn't we start with this? So you said a lot of things in there that I was interested in, and I would like to have you on because again, and of course Eric as well, because there was a lot of things in there that we won't go into now that I would really hear your take on. But how do you look at conversational podcasts like, let's say, the biggest podcast in the world with Joe Rogan? How do you feel about his way of having conversations with everybody the way that he does it?
That's such a great question, and I haven't listened to his podcast.
No, but okay. So
She validated you by saying it was a great question, but also said,
No,
I don't fuck with that shit.
I used a bad example because you didn't know, and I just used the biggest one because I assumed.
Why didn't you with the second biggest one, the Bin podcast?
Right.
So no, but a podcast, a conversational podcast who has everybody on under all circumstances. How do you feel about that? Would you feel like they're platforming people that you shouldn't be platforming? And just your feelings around these topics.
I mean, I really appreciate that perspective, and it's something that, for example, in our own conversations, we had someone on who I very much appreciated them being on, and I realized afterwards that their perspective in some ways invalidated some of the things that we believe in. And then there's that question of like, we're not journalists. We don't pretend to be journalists so I do lay that out. However, our goal is really to say, how can you engage people authentically and yet also disagree with them, right?
Right.
And for example, I personally, and it's interesting because I don't know how Eric would answer this question, so I gave him this link. Maybe he's listening. But I personally, for example, wouldn't invite like the head of the Ku Klux Klan on. I don't have an interest in supporting somebody who has clearly demonstrated that they stand for something that I think is so dangerous. I wouldn't be interested in supporting them and getting any kind of message out. So. And I personally, I used to work with the Jewish Community Center in Boulder County. And when they were doing their new community center, they were arguing about or whether or not to put a sign that says all are welcome up front. And we were talking about it, and they were like, because not everybody's welcome. Because if you're going to come in here with hate, if you're going to come in here with violence, if you're going to come in here and attack people, you're not welcome. And to me, that's part of culture creation. In order to have a thriving community and a thriving culture, you have to have values that you express. Mm-hmm. And some of that might be a tension between your values, right? Like I might say I'm against this. And one of my values is that I listen. We have a conversation and I realize, oh, I'm being prejudiced and unfair. I need to be open. So part of my value is that what you were talking about before, being willing to listen and admit when I was wrong or ignorant and didn't understand something. And it still feels strongly that part of how you create the culture that you want is by standing for your values and asserting them, even when it's uncomfortable. And so I wouldn't say everybody should have access to all platforms, and that's not personally how I would go about it. But I also feel strongly that people who are different than I am, who have different beliefs, like I said, I grew up very conservative. I have a lot of friends who are still Mormon and Republican, and we're still close. And I want to have some of them on the show and have them kind of talk about it, because I think it will be good for people who hear what we're saying to understand that we have more in common. And I'll share this quick story. We talked about it on the podcast at one point, but I felt like we arrived at where we wanted to be about 8 months in, when one of my close friends, he's a Mormon dad who lives in Salt Lake City, and he has 2 older stepsons who are pretty right wing. And he said, after listening to your podcast for the last 6 months, I'm going to ask them to listen to it, because I feel like you are more aligned with my values than any of the right-wing podcasts. And I want them to understand that not all social justice warriors are full of hate, which I was like, really? You think that? But okay. And I felt like right there, that's what I wanted. I wanted people who think they are so different from me that they would never agree with me to listen and realize, actually, we really aren't that different. There's a small minority of people that are fostering hate and division, and most of the rest of us really aren't into that, but we're busy and we're tired. And so we don't have a chance to come together. And I want to be part of that coming together.
I love it.
I think that on that note, it was I loved that, and I can promise you one thing. You have a new subscriber. I will listen to your podcast.
Hey,
I would
thanks.
love to fucking listen to that.
Just mind the
And of
feathers, will you? Just mind the
Yeah.
feathers.
Oh.
Jonathan, you got a little something in your beard. Just here. A little feather. Just here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't get them all.
No.
You missed one, but it's big.
He's motorboating that cockerel real bad.
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh.
Here we are. Here we
I
are
can't
after
do
that,
that.
beautiful sentiment.
I can't do
We
that.
almost made it right.
I'm bringing the tone back to where it should be.
Oh.
It's fair.
It's called
Alright.
the Bin Podcast. We talk rubbish.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. All right. So
She
Just
did.
speak for yourself.
Yeah, she totally elevated us. We're gonna pull you back down into this dumpster
Yeah.
that we live in.
I'm
Come
sorry,
Come on
guys.
down from the
Let's
mountaintop.
bring
Come on
this
down from the
back
mountaintop.
down.
This is
Let's
where
Wait,
we
bring
when
are.
is
it
this
back down.
demonstrating the importance of that tension, right? Like that's you were trying to make that my point for me. We need all of it.
Yeah.
yes, we did.
And
So-
that's actually kind of what we do here. Like we all have our own little kind of perspectives on the
Yeah.
world, and that's what we
100%.
bring to it, and that's what we do.
And the thing is, we need
that's
to
also-
we need to
sorry.
listen to every angle. As much as we may dismiss it, we need to listen to it because we need to hear where other people are getting their information from. So if we can counter it with better ideas, better speech, we can do that because we can just get rid of what they're listening to and say,
Mhm.
here is the facts, here are the reasons, and what you're listening to is just nonsense. But we can only do that if we know what they're getting fed.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have to hate listen to people like Alex Jones. We do have to hate listen to people like Stephen Crowder, because
But-
people listen to these people and regurgitate what they're saying. So
But-
we need to be able to disavow that with facts.
But here's the thing, though. I don't have to listen to Steven Crowder or Alex Jones to have an active and fruitful conversation with someone who listens to their show. Because if you have something that is totally illogical, the logic is what you're going to use to dismantle it. You don't have to watch the episode to know what their argument is going to be. They're going to tell you. You know what I mean? I don't need to know exactly the timestamp that such and such happened. All I have to do is just ask them. Like, so why do you believe this crazy fucking random thing? And they'll say, because of this. Okay. I got it from so and so. That's perfectly fine. The so and so is not
a fair point.
the so and
That's a fair
so.
point.
The so and so is not my main concern. They can continue to do that, but when I engage with people, as soon as they say it, I'm there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know what I have to defeat now.
But what I'm saying is, when it comes to sort of arguing with these people, if you say, "Oh yeah, I listened to that same piece, and I came away with a different outcome," if at least you acknowledge the fact that you've listened to the same thing that they've listened to, and you can say, "Well, I've heard it. I've got a different idea, and here's where my idea comes from," they will appreciate the fact that you've listened to it. Because how many times do people say, "Oh, look at this link, look at this link, look at this link"? Yeah, I've looked at it, and I've come away with a different outcome.
But it's multiple approaches to the same problem, right? So like Mikey's thing is like the person is going to tell you what they got out of it, and you push that. And then Wayne, you're going for, well, if I come from the same angle everybody else is, but with my perspective, I can counter that. So it's the art form. It's whatever art form you choose of getting that, of dealing with that non-real.
Yeah, it's two different techniques, but I feel that my technique, in the sense of, I've listened to Crowder, I've listened to Alex Jones, and I'll say, yeah, I heard that, and then I countered it with this. If I say, oh, I'm not listening to that geezer because he's a nut job, all of a sudden,
whatever you say is not going to function with the other person. They're not going to absorb it.
But what I'm saying is, some people will appreciate the fact that you've listened to what they've presented to you. They go, yeah, I listened to it, and I came out with this.
Right.
But if you turn around and say, well, I didn't bother listening to it because of who it is, then straight away you put a barrier up. So
I know Mikey's not doing that. Mikey's saying that, well, let me know. Tell me what you got from that.
Yeah, because where they get their information isn't the key to me. I just need to know what their information is. I don't care where they got it from.
How they interpret that information.
Yeah, but the thing is, with an emotionalist kind of argument, because they're putting so much weight and gravitas into their belief, you need to be able to counter that belief
in their profit, in their false profit that they're doing. That you have to understand where that false profit is coming from.
Yeah, so I've read the Bible and I completely disagree with it. Right, I can say that because I've read the Bible. But if you turn around and say I'm not reading the Bible, that's nonsense. Yeah. They'll say, well, you can't have an argument. Then. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so. I believe it's X from the Utah Outcast. What up, sexy voice man? Him say, if the person is using a bad source, you can discount everything they offer, whether it be InfoWars or Daily Caller, etc. Just look at the Sun; it's a trash rag. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't know that it's 100% necessary because for me, I cannot listen to Giuliani and his crazy folk for 21 hours. That's bad for my mental health. So you give me the cliff notes, you give me the information that you gleaned off of it, and then I can talk to you about that. But I am not going to punish myself and hate listen to things because I value my own sanity.
And that's your approach. And we're saying that there's multiple approaches to the
but
same
Wayne's
issue.
wrong, Brenna. He's wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
I do not agree with that statement. Mikey, you are entirely 100% wrong. I do not listen to anything that you say. You have no basis.
Are wrong. All approaches are wrong except this one.
No, my approach is better.
And on that note, let's do a round table. Let's hear, Mikey, what you're going on in the next week?
This week, tomorrow, I will be getting my Mini Cooper.
Oh,
I'll get my Mini Cooper tomorrow. I'm gonna go pick it up.
He's getting a BMW.
Yeah, I'm gonna have me a Beamer,
you.
baby. But yeah, I'll be picking that up tomorrow. But tonight, you can catch me and Shartan on Neil the 604 Atheist channel, where Shartan is going to talk about his deconversion story, which is less of a deconversion because he's a cradle atheist. He's never had a religion. So
talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back in 2 seconds.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. So let's make fun of Wayne.
We already did a lot.
I think that like the rating kind of did that for us.
That was glory. That was like an early Christmas gift for me. Like I really enjoyed that.
something nice behind his
Good.
back, he'll never believe it.
No, but
We
I have
got
to
him
set
into
this
the
up.
poultry club. Is that
Yeah.
not enough?
No. But in all honesty, Wayne is one of my dearest friends that I've never met. Like, I feel closer to him than
Right.
I do to a lot of people that I've been friends with
Yeah.
for a very long time. He is the most open, the most honest, and the most fantastic. Oh, fuck, he's back.
No worries, mate. Go on.
No, no. Wayne is one of these guys that I'll do anything for the man.
Yeah.
He is just fantastic in every.
Aw.
He's got a great fucking heart. He's a big guy, but he's got a big heart, and I love him to death.
That's
And I'll do
awesome.
anything for the man. And
Wayne is.
I'm
Wayne is-
gutted.
Wayne
We
is
had
amazing.
had just under 2020. I was supposed to go to London to see him, and he was going to come here. Corona screwed us both times. But we are going to make this happen at some point. When this calms down, we're going to be sitting doing this podcast together, me and Wayne, in the same fucking room.
I'm coming
He would
too. I'm hopping on the first flight. I'm on my way.
He's probably going
We're
to.
gonna get our vaccines.
I'm probably
Yes,
going to be
as soon as I
sitting
get
here
my
with
vaccine, I'm on that first fucking flight.
Yeah, I'm going.
I'm
I want
probably
to get my
gonna be-
vaccine so I can go.
I'm probably going to have like a black eye and a bleeding lip. But I'll be here none the same. I love the guy. There's no better guy than Wayne.
And when it comes to someone being in the truest sense of the word, pure of heart,
Yep.
that is Wayne. Wayne is
Yeah.
a genuine, earnest, honest man, and I love him to fucking pieces. And I couldn't be happier to be sharing a show with such a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one thing to like start a small business and start a podcast and do all that shit. It's nice to do it with people who are actually good. And Wayne is probably the best among us.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Brenna?
Let's get.
Well, me praise Wayne. How many times? I'm the only one who has been praising Wayne for all this time.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Oh, hi, Wayne.
Oh, never mind.
All right, we'll do
Yeah.
that.
I
This is so much fun. This is so much fun.
No, just keep waiting on the sidelines. No, seriously, like somebody who is you can rely on, I think is the best thing for like to say for Wayne. Like even when he like when his second baby was being born, he was still here on the podcast. He was still talking to us. He still communicates with us.
Yeah.
And it's great to have a connection there with somebody that you aren't going, like, I don't know when I'm going to ever be in the same room with him, but I feel close to him. I feel like I'm close to these.
Check your back window. He's probably peeking through it right now.
Yeah, and Brenna, you know that we are getting close now to that $5,000 tier of us sitting in a room together. So we only
Yeah.
need what $9,846 more dollars.
Almost there.
So go to patreon.com/thebigpodcast
And
become a
and
patron
then before
so that
we
we can be in the same room together after we all get our designated vaccines.
And before we get the big cons back in here, I need to tell you this personal story about a year ago. I went through some real harsh personal times, right? Wayne fucking called me 2 times a week just to check. Are you alright, dude? Are you alright, mate? He did that, and he did that every week until he actually believed me when I said I was alright. Yes, there were some tears there in the middle. We had some long night calls, but he took the time to call me, once or twice a week, just to make sure that was alright. That's a friend right there. That's a friend right there.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Wayne, I know you're back there. I know you can hear us. I love you, dude.
I love you, Wayne.
I love you so much, Wayne.
Mikey, you're not crying. I'm crying.
I have allergies.
You weren't.
I have allergies.
I've got
you
fire
weren't
ash
expecting
in
that,
my
were
eyes. Literally.
you weren't expecting that, were you?
Oh, you fuckers.
Look at you,
I
big.
love you all.
Look at you,
That's
big
the-
soft pillows.
Aw.
All right. So Wayne, what you going on for the next?
Idris.
Yeah, Big Driss Cumberbatch. Tell us what you got going
Idris
on.
Cumberbatch.
Drink it.
Yeah. No, that was like really humbling to hear, and I love each and every one of you too, because otherwise I wouldn't be here every fucking week getting bollocking from my missus. Oh, for fuck's sake, doing that again, are you? Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Aw. Aw.
Yeah, no, I love you all. How we all met was very random, and how we've all proceeded with what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve is beautiful
Hmm.
and organic. And as I said to you in the chat, hopefully the two people that brought us all together will be coming to our Christmas show. But just out of the blue, like I fired off a message and got a reply straight back. So I'm hoping
that would be
that comes off.
great.
I'm hoping. I really am hoping that comes off because because the thing is, like we all sit here and we cunt each other off every single opportunity we can.
Mhm.
But we all do genuinely love each other. You know, to be doing something, 100%.
Yeah. It's all about that.
To be doing something like this every single week for the last year and a half, it means something. It means something. We're not, you know, we're in 3 different countries, and
4 different time zones.
Yeah.
4 different fucking time zones. Oh, but by the way, we invented the time zones.
Oh, see, and then he fucking ruined it with his fucking British.
And we're
Fucking
done.
Aurora.
Thank you.
Fucking Oppenheimer, the fucking destroyer of worlds.
He had
Oh,
to go
come
and
on.
ruin it.
He had to
Come
break
on.
the tension. He just
No.
broke it.
No. I've not ruined it. I've just stayed true to form. I'm living my gimmick. I'm
Alright.
living my gimmick.
Brenna, what you got going on for next week?
Well, first
Wow.
up, we have to avoid the fires that are going on. So there are tons
Stop
of.
setting them.
Rake
not
the
even-
floors of the forest.
I'm not
Like
even near
everyone.
them. It's
Yeah,
the
get rid
damn
of
wind
the
that brings
lithium
it all in here.
batteries.
It's not my fault, I promise. And then I believe sometime I have work next week. And next week, the last week of my class that I've been teaching. So I'm really happy that we get to wrap that up before the Christmas season, and Christmas decorations are gonna go up, and it's gonna be a good next couple of weeks for me.
All right, good.
Excellent.
And by the way, are we going to be seeing your solo show going on anytime soon?
Brenna.
What?
Your your solo show.
Oh, my show. After my class ends,
Brenna's garden.
Yeah.
I'll be able to. I'm starting that, but not right now. Not until my class.
What's the link? OnlyFans. What?
And then
I'm not even responding.
actually, what you
Come
going on for the coming week?
I have to bring it down to that level again.
I swear,
Yes,
this is
yes.
my life.
I thought we were going on a high note for once, but yeah.
No.
What you going on for the weeks to come?
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
Aicila?
Aicila. Got
It was close. It was close.
Yeah, no, it was perfect.
Ah, okay.
Well, tonight I'm super excited. My son lives close by, and we're gonna go see Blossoms of Light. It's an outdoor event. So we have like a ticket to a thing, and we get to go do it, which I'm pretty excited about.
What's that like? I've forgotten.
I
I
don't know
know.
what outdoors looks like.
I can't even tell you how much I've been looking forward to this. And then on Monday, I am gonna do the first session in our family Dungeons and Dragons game. That
What?
Is that?
No.
I was gonna ask you. Are those fucking play guides behind you?
Well, those are my comics, but no, I have those. I'm playing on Roll20 because you're talking about time zones, and I realized I'm running 3 games now, and I'm in one.
Oh my God, how have we never talked about this? I want to be in someone's campaign.
You know, I might have an opening. So we should talk.
Yes.
I start. Are these all tabletop games behind you?
No, those are
So
comics.
yeah, those are I'm pretty geeky. I don't know how to get there. This is my some of my board games and my favorite comics. My precious the 3D set of Settlers of Catan. You know.
Ooh.
Right,
Now I'm
I
jealous.
really wanted to get into like tabletop gaming because I think it is awesome, but I don't have anyone around me that.
I have
Well,
all.
You
I
can
have
play
all.
online. There's a lot of games you can play online. And if you're on Steam, you can play Tabletop Simulator. So it's like you're sitting at a table with your friends. But I'm pretty excited because my daughter, her husband, and my son and I are going to play together. And so Monday is our character creation session. And it's fun. And then I'm playing with people that I played with 20 years ago. And some of them are in Washington State. Some of them are in Georgia. They're all over the country. It's great.
Can I bring?
Do you have Hero Quest?
I haven't played Hero Quest.
Can I bring my tiefling monk?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Are you no. I play with people who are really experienced, and what I love about that is you can throw stuff at them. Like one of the guys were fighting these demons, and he was rolling and badly, and it just kept dying. And so I was like, "You need to roll your will." And he's like, "What's happening?" They wrote this will, and I was like, "All right," and I'm just making this up on the fly. So I was like, if he rolls badly, I'm just gonna have him be depressed, and it's gonna go. I mean, he's gonna fight. Right? It was the first good roll he had, and so I was like, "You feel the power of self-confidence, and you suddenly get to roll and attack again." And then he rolled and did well on that, and I'm like, "Your participation trophy is, you got a participation trophy because you are so confident in your own abilities." Like, it was so fun.
I am so excited. I'm so excited for this. I've been meeting more and more people that are like D&D and Pathfinder is alive and well, and I have the technical know-how.
Yeah,
we
totally.
can make this a thing.
Yeah,
I'm
it's super
so
fun.
stoked.
And
Yeah,
of course, you can find
Shut up.
Aicila's.
Okay.
What?
Thought this was a dig at me. I apologize.
No.
Oh, look at you! You're so defensive, Mikey. So defensive.
I will
You're such
check
a
out your
little
website
deviant.
in the end,
Such a
as I
deviant.
always do. Yeah, don't worry about it. I will call it out as I always do in the end. But Aicila, you can find her at the Bicurean podcast, and of course we're gonna post your Twitter in the comments. Mikey's working on that right now, and he also posted and subscribing to your podcast, by the way. And I'm looking forward to. I've got what was it? You were at episode 316. So is that season 3, episode 16?
Yeah, we did a bunch of special episodes during the beginning of the pandemic, so we're a little bit behind. We just decided to we're doing it a little bit off schedule right now. Usually we release every other week.
Okay.
But
Yeah, no,
right
but
now
I was
it's
like,
a little more
I looked back in the back catalog and I saw there's not 316
No.
episode here. So it's season 3, episode 16 is where you're at right now.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. And of course, we're going to be looking into that. So, it's my turn, and we are going into the end of this. Which
Great
means
show.
it was a good show, and we're going to miss you all, but you need to go into patreon.com/thebinpodcast to sign up to get your pledges in. We need your help because we want to do this. We want to get better. We want to keep on doing this. We will keep on doing this. But if you want to help us out just a little bit, just go into the Bin Podcast, the patreon.com/thebinpodcast, and put your pledges in. Later today, I would be on 5 o'clock. What time zone is Neil in?
Neil is in Western.
Yeah, so in
Pacific time.
Pacific time, 5 o'clock Pacific time, I will be on Neil the 604 Atheist, talking about how I've never been converted and how it's growing up in a country that actually still has no separation between state and church as an atheist, which was quite weird at the time. For all us here at the Bin Podcast, for Mikey, for Brenna, for Wayne, for Cortez, and of course, our lovely guest, Aicila.
Ah, you fucked it up again.
I fucked it up. Aicila. Thank you and good night.
Someone like Jarton the woodshed.
Thank you guys.
No, thank you.